Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and this is my coffee. Mhm. And I'm Kevin, and I hope you have, excuse me, I hope you have a nice, wonderful hot coffee with you right now, or hot tea, or any drink at all to share with me as I'm sharing some maybe wisdom. I don't know. Wow. I don't know if you saw my coffee. My coffee said, "Good morning." Good morning, friend. My coffee says, "Sweater weather." How ironic, because in a few weeks, we're going to be places that are completely the opposite of sweater weather. We're going to be in Florida, and I'll be spending my winter there in Florida. So I'm not going to have the need for sweater weather. Hot coffee, yes. Sweater weather, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hey, it is my son Tony is on board too. Hey, so a lot of people have been asking me, how's it going? What's it going to be like? What are you going to do for, how are you going to handle your work and stuff like that? And I am thinking that it's a whole new environment, it's a whole new place, and it's a chance for me to start anew, to start all over again. And I've talked about this many times in the live streams. Find an excuse to start new. Just a new day is an excuse to start new. This is actually going to force me to start new environment, new people, and everything else. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Change is actually good. Change is a good thing. And the reason why you should see it as a good thing is because change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. I was talking with a associate of mine yesterday, and we were talking about the change in technology. I've been around for a little while. Long enough where I installed the first desktop computers in a company that never had any desktop computers at all, ever. And they had been running for already 5, 7 years because desktop computers were new. I've seen technology change. I used to have those, not cell phones back then, but those phones with the big antenna on the end. I used to have one of those. Technology's come so far. I watched the shows that would predict that we'd have watches that we could talk into far out in the future. In the 60s, we're watching Star Trek. You had that little flip device. It's so funny. Flip phones came, they left, and now they're coming back. Change is inevitable. And if you work in a technology field, you work in almost any field, changes happen so rapidly. And it's happened for the last 30, 40, 50 years, where it's pretty rapid. It's more rapid. Change is more rapid now, especially in technology. We hear about AI. AI's been around for quite a long time, and it's actually machine learning, which is what it used to be called. There's a slight difference, some people think, but it's been around for a long time. But now it's available to the person like you and I. So now it's a big thing, and now it's changing. I remember back in the 80s when I delivered some software programming that I had done to automate a desktop, so it could do these rote activities one after another. And it wasn't anything sophisticated, but it was pretty rote. I remember that. And I remember the manager telling me he was so happy he was able to replace 2 people. And I said, oh my God, what have I done? But that's where technology, that's where progress works. It replaces rote work, and rote work has changed so much since then. It replaces a lot of work. We have robots in the manufacturing plants. We've had them for years, and they replace the manual labor that was there, the people that were there. They make it more efficient. They make it cost efficient, and they make it faster. That's all. So change, what I'm saying is change is there. Good morning, Deb. I look like I'm in a library, and library is one of my favorite places, by the way. I love the smell of books. I love just feeling like I'm in all the wisdom in the world. But change is inevitable. It's going to happen, whether you want to or not. And the people that resist, I've worked with a few people. They were phenomenal. They were great at what they did. No one could do what they did as well as they did. But when change started to happen, they decided to stay with what they were great at. And over a period of time, there was less and less work for them, and they could not now work with the new stuff. That happens to us in all sorts of industries, but also all parts of life. Change happens if you don't adapt, if you don't become flexible, if you don't pivot. That's our word for this decade and last decade. If you don't pivot, you'll not be successful in whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter, relationships or whatever. In neurolinguistic programming, NLP, which I've talked a lot about in past recordings, there is a principle, a tenet in there that basically says the person who is the most flexible will become the most successful. The person who's the most flexible has the chance of controlling their destiny as opposed to being controlled by it. It doesn't quite say that. I've interpreted that a little bit more than I should have, but it's true. You need to be flexible. You need to go with the flow. There's something in mirroring and matching, which is when you actually mirror somebody or match somebody's physiology. If they're leaning like this, if they're going to hand, you do kind of similar things. And there's a psychological thing that takes place after you've done that for a few minutes. Then you can take the lead. And when you move your physiology, when you cross your legs or fold your arms or do whatever it is, you'll find that they're going to lead. And I think that's the same principle that happens when you become the most flexible and you're actually to follow with the flow. Then when you actually start to lead, other people will follow. They'll pivot, they'll flex to follow you. It's an amazing way the brain works. It's an amazing way the universe works. But one thing is for certain. Embrace change. Welcome change. Actually create change. So I'm welcoming this change that I'm having, and I'm seeing it as a new start. Yes, I'm going to bring everything that I've already had, but starting anew. New atmosphere, new environment, new people, new friends. And I'm going to bring it there. So don't wait until you have to move somewhere. Start new. Start something new. There's always a new, no matter what happened today, tomorrow is always a new day. It's always a new start. Think of that. Adopt it. And until next week, this has been Coffee with Kevin. Again, this is my coffee, and I'm Kevin Martin, a mindset coach. You want to know more about what I've been talking about today, about adopting change, about being flexible? Reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me on LinkedIn if you're listening to this on LinkedIn, or on YouTube, or on Trovo. Doesn't matter which channel you're looking there. And if you want to just see more about what I do, cnlpcoaching.com, cnlpcoaching.com, Center for Next Level Performance. And if you're looking for that next level, please reach out to me. Thank you very much, Deb. Thank you. Love you too. Take care. Bye.